Welcome back, guys. Like I said, in this video, we're going to be talking about exit type. So the first type of exit we're going to talk about is the take profit exit in terms of take profits. Now, let's say in a situation where we want to take a continuation trade, right? We already have our entry confirmation using either of the entry types that I spoke about in the previous video. All right, now let's talk about how do we take profit, where should we take profit, and how do we even decide I'm done with this trade and I want to move on to some another trade now. I'm going to show you the different ways to do it, but I would say largely where you exit or call it a day depends on you. Now, some people like to base their trade off, risk to reward. In terms of if I risk certain amount of pips, what is the reward opportunity? That's what we mean by risk to reward. So let's say that we enter into a sell here, and the risk is, for example, right here, and then the reward for somebody who likes to focus on risk to reward now is looking in terms of my stop loss. How many times of my stop loss do I tend to make in profit? Some people like to target 1 to 3, which I think is the average risk to reward many traders are usually able to get. And often other people like to go for 1 to 5, 1 to 10. Basically, you can decide that. But if you want to determine where you exit a trade in terms of take profits, technically, I would say you can break that down into different levels. All right. For example, on the 1 hour time frame, we can see our price, rejected this level a couple of times, right? So that will be LTF. Basically, we can see our price rejected this level a couple of times. It acted as support right here. Let me point you to it. Acted as support right here, right here, right here, and right here. So it means likely if price comes back, it may experience some troubles going below. So definitely, all right, most definitely, you want to take some profits around here and maybe move your stop loss to break even at this point. Now, the next price point where we see that price will likely have issues with is right here. I mean, we see our price literally started to pump around here, right? So we obviously want to take majority of our profits at this point, if not all. And why is that? Remember, we started doing our analysis from the higher time frame, and then we did pick this point as the most likely place for price to head to during the course of the week. All right. So we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We don't want to do too much, right? If price now finally breaks below this area, maybe then we can look for another trade opportunity to enter and then go look for another level where price is likely going to head to next. But I mean, you're day trading, right? What are the odds that price is going to boom, just dump? How many pips would it be in one single day? Let's say somewhere around here. 181 pips, not entirely impossible, but given the volume we've had in the market lately, maybe not. It's going to take a catalyst like a news event or a major economic activity around the world for price to just dump this much. But I think it's more reasonable to just pick the level that you found on your weekly time frame, and once that setup is done and complete, then you can look for another one. I mean, there are numerous pairs for you to trade. You don't have to trade just one thing. So don't try to make all the money on just one trade. No, don't do that. You're going to break yourself. You're going to pressure yourself and expose yourself to unnecessary losses. Don't try to make all the money in just one trade. Break if you want, if your plans to make $10,000, break it across different trades across different days. Don't try to do it alone. But if you want to make $10,000 in one day, ensure you have the capital for it. Don't put $100 in your account and expect to make $10,000 just like that in one day. You're going to have to take a lot of risk for that to happen, which I wouldn't say it's impossible. You're going to have to take a lot of risk, and you may get burnt really. So ensure whatever you're doing, you are certain what you're doing and you have the risk appetite for it. All right. So that's the first exit type in terms of take profit. These are the two ways you can consider taking up take profit. The first one is considering risk to reward, and then the other one is considering price levels like these ones that we have at this point. So that's how you can determine your take profit using this strategy, right? Basically, just consider the levels that we found while we're doing our analysis and then target those areas to take some profits. Now, when we talk about exit type number two, which is stop loss, right? Now, personally, right, I like to base my stop loss with price action. I don't just pick a random place to put my stop price action. For example, I want to see, remember, I always talk about I like to see my rejection confirmation before going in. So let's say that for this particular trade, we have price break below here, close below here, come back to retest it, right? And then we have the rejection and then confirmation to the downside. Then I think my entry is likely going to be around here for a situation like this. and then my stop loss can be slightly above this level, which will be um you know, the rejection that we have, and also where price broke out of, right? That if we have a rejection above this level before price broke below there, then I want to also consider that just because price, just in case price intends to, sweep off some, orders around here before finally going my way, is what I like to consider like two rejections away, like first rejection, second rejection. I like to consider that. But if I don't find second reject, that's fine. I'm going to take this one. I'll just adjust my risk appropriately, so those that is one way I like to take my place my stop loss, right? I want to consider the previous rejection to put my stop loss. Of course, we're still going to do some more practicals on this one so that you can understand better, but I always like to lay the foundation before I do all of those practicals. That is one way where you can pick your stop loss. The other way is also, for example, the breakout trade that we just wants to take the breakout to the downside. It's like this. Also, you also have to consider price action. Let's say for in this scenario, right, you're taking the breakout, you want to take above the candle that literally broke out, you like the wick of the candle that broke below this level, and then target wherever it is you want to put your take profit to decide on. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any question, do not hesitate to reach out to me using all of the available methods, either via email, Instagram DMs, comment section, YouTube, anywhere, or even the Telegram community. Just reach out to me. I am always willing to assist to the best of my ability. I'll see you guys in the next video. Really, peace out.